restless. Coming to my head. In this life of mine, I just wanna see you dead. Making all this money, I'm on boss.
Tell him it's on. Tell him what's up. Tell him it's on. Tell him what's up.
Drew Lock, the 6'4" gunslinger from Missouri, has struggled so far to catch on in the pros, throwing only 25 touchdowns to 20 interceptions. But this offseason, he has moved elsewhere, going from Denver to Seattle. And with this, he has a new chance to start fresh and possibly become the quarterback we expected him to be coming out of college. While many people have so far criticized Drew Lock's struggles with accuracy early in his career, you can draw parallels to these struggles to those of Josh Allen in his rookie year of his play, and Drew Lock could potentially make a huge, massive leap going to Seattle, going into the Pete Carroll system, getting these Seattle Seahawks wideouts, and bringing along with him tight end Noah Fant, who was packaged in the trade deal that sent Russ to Denver and Lock to Seattle. But Noah Fant is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the receivers that Drew Lock will have to throw to. Besides his old reliable tight end, Drew Lock will also have lined up on the outside Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. These two wide receivers make one of the best wide receiver duos in the NFL, combining for over 2,000 yards last season in Seattle, in a season where Russell Wilson didn't play the entire year and Geno Smith was out there throwing passes. This shows how incredible DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett are, that they were able to put up such incredible numbers without having their starting quarterback for the entire season. They also had a combined 20 touchdowns, and both of them had high averages of yards per catch, especially Tyler Lockett with 16.1 yards per catch. This tailors perfectly to Drew Lock's play style of gunslinger, deep shot, going for the long ball, and this will allow him to come into Seattle and have receivers that he likes and he trusts to throw the ball to, and this is going to help him be successful in Seattle next season. Another thing that will help Drew Lock going into his fourth year and going to Seattle will be the fact that he will have an amazing run game to rely upon. Last season in Denver, rookie Javonte Williams did have a solid year, but he was a rookie. Going to Seattle, though, he will have a much better ground game, more reliable, more veteran experience in that backfield. Rashad Penny and Chris Carson, both veteran running backs with much experience, who will be mentoring the young gun Kenneth Walker, who the Seattle Seahawks selected in the second round of the NFL draft. That three-headed dragon in the backfield will allow Drew Lock to take some pressure off his shoulders, considering he should have a fairly reliable run game, and those three running backs together should be able to amount for a solid amount of yardage for this offense. The Seattle Seahawks, though, did more than just draft a running back to help Drew Lock attempt to resurrect his career in Seattle. At 9th overall, they selected Charles Cross, the offensive tackle out of Mississippi State. This is an attempt to help bolster an offensive line that has struggled in recent years. And to bolster the offensive line even further, in the 3rd round, they drafted offensive tackle Abraham Lucas out of Washington State. Both of these are tackles that can come in and make the starting lineup and help that offensive line so that Drew Lock will have a good offensive line to be behind in Seattle. Furthermore, we all know it's important to have a coach and a general manager who believes in you as the quarterback. There has to be some belief in the franchise that you are that guy. And Drew Lock didn't seem to have that in Denver after he lost John Elway. The Broncos GMs that they went through didn't seem that interested in him. And the coach, Pat Shurmur, who's a mainly defensive-minded coach, also wasn't bought in Drew Lock, and that really could have harmed Drew Lock in a big way. But In Seattle, he's not going to have to deal with that. As Pete Carroll said, Drew Lock is better than any quarterback drafted in the 2022 NFL Draft. This is huge for the coach to publicly display that he has that sort of confidence in his quarterback, Drew Lock. That is huge. That's something Drew Lock never had in Denver, and that is one of the big reasons I think Drew Lock is going to succeed in Seattle, is that he has a system, he has people who believe in him. If you guys enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. It's absolutely free and it's a great way to support the channel. Thanks for watching.